Guys, it's Caitlin from Reefs.com. I just wanted to uh, let you know what's going on here. We're going to start a little video blog called the Reef Table. And for our first guest, we have Lemon Tea Yikai, and I want to let him introduce himself. So, Lemon, you're on.
Hi. So for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Lemon from Reef Builders, and I'm an editor for Reef Builders for 6 years now, close to 6 years. And what I do is I blog about fish, rare fish, and fish stories in general. Yeah, kind of like what Caitlin does, but fishier.
Okay, you're pretty much the biggest fish geek out there that I know of. If there's someone else out there, it's news to me. So while I have you here, I wanted to discuss.
Bit of a
I wanted to discuss deepwater fish. I feel like they're not discussed often enough. One of my favorites out there is Odontanthias. What other deepwater anthias are there out there, and where are they from?
Well, Odontanthias phosphipinus is a really nice fish. It's from Hawaii, and we don't see them very often in the trade because they're quite deep and they're not really easy to collect. And if you're asking what other deep water anthias are there in the genus, in Odontanthias genus, there are offhand I could think of 5. Well, the most common one everybody has seen that shows up with most regularity is Odontanthias bobonius, the blotchy anthias. So that's the most common one that comes out from. It's a wide ranging actually. It's found in Indonesia and Japan. And then there are four other species of Odontanthias that I find really, really rare. And they do show up from time to time. The first one I'm gonna tell you about is Odontanthias katayamai. So katayamai is a Japanese endemic, and it's found usually in excess of 400 feet.
Wow.
And because rebreather diving is not, it's not carried out in Japan, for lack of a better word. So a lot of these Odontanthias katayamai is been, when they appear in the trade, they are all either fished from commercial trawler fishing boats, or from hook and line, like real fishing. So Japanese fishermen, they go on their boat, they catch mackerel, they catch other food fish, and then inadvertently they catch 1 or 2 katayamai from 400 feet. And these don't survive very well because, as you fish, you bring a fish up on the hook, you bring it up quick, so the decompression time is not there, and then the fish, when they get up on the boat, they suffer from all the decompression sickness, the eyes pop out of their heads, they get bloated. So, and I'll send you a picture of katayama. I think you've seen it before. It's a like a nice yellow mask, purple tail, purple body. There's also Odontanthias unimaculatus from the same area as katayama, so that is also caught in the same fashion, in the same way, and they're actually not rare below 200 meters, and there are some pictures online that you can find showing katayama and unimaculatus for sale in a food fish shop on ice. So you go to the wet market, you want to buy fish to cook for dinner, and then there's a katayama there, or there's a unimaculatus there, because they're all caught by trawler fishing.
They actually sell those for food?
I'm sorry?
They sell those to eat?
Yeah, to eat. I mean, well, they all just catch it, from a big commercial fishing boat, and then they're usually dead from the rapid ascent, so they just sell it for food. And it's not uncommon to see deep water anthias, deep water Leopropoma for sale in the market for food.
Have you had it?
Have I ate it?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't want to eat it. I'd probably buy it and keep it in my freezer. I'll probably freeze it forever. And then there is also Odontanthias chrysostictus. That one comes out from Indonesia, Sulawesi, and I actually have a picture of Chrysostictus which I photographed in Singapore. We had one, if I'm not wrong, 2 years ago, which came from Sulawesi, and I'll send you a picture of that as well.
Okay, great.
If I'm not wrong, there is one more. Odontanthias elizabethae from Hawaii. That is a Hawaiian endemic, same as Fusipinis, but I think generally, much, much deeper. There's only been one picture that I can find from a Japanese fisherman blog. Well, he went fishing in Hawaii and then he was catching mackerel. It's the same story, and then the Odontanthias appears on his line, and then, well, it died. And that's a really nice fish as well. It's not yellow like the rest. It's actually brown with a white band on the tail, on the caudal peduncle, and then long pink tail filaments. Really, really nice fish.
So you brought up the katayamai, and I know you've mentioned previously to me that you've seen that one in person. You want to tell me about that?
Ah, yeah. Okay, so I think it was in 2011, if I'm not wrong. So I went to Japan. I went to visit Koji in Osaka. And so Koji Wada, he's super famous in Japan. He's has the ability to procure the rarest of the rare and all this super special fish. And so I was visiting Koji for a holiday in Japan, and he wanted to take me to his customer's place. He has a customer who is a dentist by trade. His profession is he's a dentist. And so we drove for like 20 minutes to his house. And when I stepped into his house, I was, it's very quaint, it's very unassuming, but he had a huge aquarium with what I can only imagine is like, tens of thousands of dollars worth of rare fish. And I freaked out immediately because, all the rare fish that I've been seeing my entire life in magazines, in catalogs, in blogs, they're all in that tank. They're all in that one tank. So this guy, his collection is amazing, and I will never forget that day. And so I was, taking pictures of his fish. He had a really nice collection of deepwater fish from all over the place. He had Hemanthias from Atlantic. He had Odontanthias. He had Cerulabras. He had all kinds of fish. But the fish that that was the first time I saw the fish in real life, and it's really, really amazing. It's really nice, and it's just that the response that a rare fish elicits when I see it is just, I don't know how to put it across without sounding so geeky, but my legs were trembling in excitement when I saw that fish. Yeah. Wow. So that was the first time I saw katayamai, and then Chrysostictus I've seen in Singapore where I'm from. Yeah, and Fusipinis and Bobonius is not rare, so that is 4 out of, well, there are many Odontanthias around, and so many of them are, unseen, unheard of. They're too deep, and nobody collects them.
Okay, so you mentioned that he had other deepwater fish in his collection. What were some of the ones that stood out to you the most?
Well, he had, a really incredible collection of deepwater fish in all different genera. He had Hemanthias from the Caribbean. He had various deepwater Plectrantias that I've never seen before. But the fish that stood out to me the most was a big Leopropoma aberrans. And it's funny because that was the reason why we went to his house in the first place, because his Leopropoma aberrans was having some decompression issues. It was swimming head down because he had gas, build-up of gas in his swim bladder. And so Koji went to his place to help to decompress the fish. And I was there, and he invited me to go, and we went together. And so when I went there, for simplicity's sake, let's just call it the golden basslet, because that is a common name for Leopropoma aberrans. So the golden basslet was already in a cage, well, in like a isolation tank, so to speak. And Koji took it out. He needled it. He released the gas, and then he released the fish back into the main aquarium. And it was swimming fine. It was really healthy. But what really impressed me the most was the coloration of the fish, because it was so true to the name golden basslet, it was really, bright yellow and orange, and it was really so golden. And because the guy's tank is deep water tank, he had no light, he had no additional lighting. Everything was, ambient room light, and his house was, the curtains were drawn and the living room lights were not turned on, so the tank was, really dark and dim. But the fish was so bright that it almost, it was almost glowing actually, and it was so, so amazing. I'm just getting excited to think about it. Yeah, you have to see it in person. It's nothing. I tried taking many pictures of it, but it just didn't really appear in the same shade of golden. But I could send you a video that I took, with my phone. Yeah. So that was a really, really nice experience for me.
So he seems to have some pretty interesting situations for how he keeps his tank. I mean, what are the parameters? What's the difficulty in keeping a deep water fish like that?
Okay, so most of his fish are really temperature dependent because they're so deep. Like Lepropoma aberrans is found, in excess of 400-500 feet, and it's caught using the submarines, submersibles. And he has so many deep water Japanese Pectrantias, Amanthias, Calanthias, Sakura, and all these are really, they are really cold, cooler water fish. And so his tank is always kept at, I think, about 17 to 18 degrees Celsius. I don't know how much that is in Fahrenheit. You have to do the conversion.
I'll have to list that in the blog because I'm not that.
But the biggest issue with cold water tank is that they condense easily, especially in summer. The warm ambient air and the cold water, makes the tank condense.
Mm-hmm.
And then so it's quite clever. This guy, his tank is double glazed. His tank is acrylic, and so instead of having one thick layer of acrylic, he did 2 layers of acrylic with a space of air in between. So it's like a layer of air sandwiched between 2 acrylic panels for all 4 sides of his tank. So the air in between the 2 panels provide like a layer of insulation, and so the tank doesn't condense as easily. And in the cabinet, in the sump cabinet, everything is lined with foam. Everything is wrapped in foam. The sump tank itself is also double panel, double glazed. It's just condensation proof, and it works. And everything is kept clean and neat. And so, the temperature issue has been, counteracted with the double panel acrylic. And because all the fish are, they're generally very deep water, they're not used to bright lights, so everything is all dimmed. There is no aquarium lighting. So, if you go into the house, all you see is a big 5-foot tank with live rock and fish. It's very simple, but it's pretty and cool.
Not like a big glowing blue box.
Oh, no. Well, he has a reef tank, and his reef tank is actually pretty interesting because it's an all Montipora reef tank. He keeps coral in that tank, but he only keeps Montipora. So it's a Montipora only tank.
Is there fish in there?
Sorry?
Does he have fish in there?
Yeah, he has fish in there. He has a jam tank, a joculator angelfish, mostly common stuff, but that tank is just mainly focused on coral, and it's just 100% Montipora of all species. And in the back room, he has another 2 tanks, and one of them was an SPS reef tank, and it had a resplendent angelfish, it had Rhynphodia opocularis, it had Cerulabris eli. I mean, that tank was also, quite amazing, but it's a different kind of amazing from the one outside. The one outside with the main collection of deep water fish, well, that one really excited me the most.
Awesome. So before we go, this has been really informative and great, and I can't wait to see pictures and share with everyone. I wanted to ask what your personal 5 favorite fish were. If you could have a tank and you had 5 fish in it, assuming they all got along, what would they be?
like 5 favorite obtainable fish or 5 favorite, unobtainable fish? Like anything, like if
Let's go with if you could have anything. Like, let's not make it a matter of whether or not you could actually have it.
if I could have any fish I want, what would be my top 5? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna choose one from every family that I know of to make it more diverse, I guess you could say. So I really want. Well, I've been wanting this fish for a long time now, and it's not unobtainable. It's, one day I'll probably find it. I really want a hybrid Genicanthus angelfish. And I've been looking for years now. I couldn't find it. I have a friend in Hong Kong. He has a really amazing collection of hybrid Genicanthus, and apparently it's not rare there, but where I am, it's impossible to find.
Ah.
So I really like a hybrid Genicanthus. And I would like a butterfly fish. I would like Chaetodon smithi, the Smith butterfly fish. There is one in Waikiki Aquarium in Hawaii, which I, hopefully get to see one day if I visit. It's a simple black and yellow fish, but for some reason I really like it a lot. And if I had to choose an Anthias, I would choose Pseudanthias regalis from Marquesas. This regalis looks like it's purple with a yellow, like a yellow head, yellow. What do you call it?
Mohawk.
Not really a mohawk. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, kind of like a mohawk. Like half the head is yellow, up to maybe mid dorsum.
Okay.
Very nice fish. And if I had to choose a chromis, I would choose Chromis bevirostris from Palau and Indonesia. And it's interesting because this chromis is really cute. It has a really short snout. So bevirostris in Latin means short snout. And the chromis has a really rounded face, and the eye is really, situated really close to the mouth. And it's really short snout, and it's kind of like silver in color with a running dorsally along the dorsal fin is like a gold flake pattern. It's really quite nice, and I'll send all the pictures to you because I don't think you're able to put the pictures on the video feed. And how many is that already? How many have I listed?
That was 4. You have 1 more to go, and then you can go.
Yes. Okay, I'll choose a wrasse. So I am a wrasse guy. I love wrasses.
Save the best for last.
Sorry?
Save the best for last.
Yeah. So Cerulabras blatius from the Red Sea. Yeah.
I can't wait to put these fish to pictures. It would be great.
Well, Cerulabras blatius is a nice fish. It has a long lanceolated tail. It has like a sword tail. But the common name is purple bone fairy wrasse, and in the males and the females there is like a dot dash pattern along the what do you call it? Lateral line. Along the lateral line, there is a broken up series of purple spots and lines, and so I guess that's where it got its name from. And it's a Red Sea endemic. It's found pretty deep water, I think in excess of 65 meters. And I had sent an email to Dr. Eran Brokovich, and he has very kindly replied me and sent me many pictures of this fish in the wild, which you can't find because the pictures belong to him, and he took it in situ when he was diving. I think if I'm not wrong, it was in Eilat, in the Gulf of Aqaba, and he had really nice pictures of males, terminal males flashing, and a whole harem of females in their natural habitat in the rubble reefs. Cerulabras, they're very fond of living in rubble. They don't live in acropora. They live in broken up rubble and reef slopes. And he had a really nice picture of a group of them at 65 meters. And so I'll send them to you as well. I'll send all this to you. You can put it in your blog.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So that's quite the list. I wish you luck.
None of them is gonna be fulfilled. Maybe the hybrid Genicanthus. Maybe one day I'll finally get it.
We can all dream.
Yeah, we can all.
So thank you so much for like letting me chew your ear off for a little bit. It was great to hear what you had to say. I hope to hear more from you and more on the topic of deep water fish.